Hello, maniacs of the Asylum. I know my voice doesn't sound familiar, but your regularly scheduled host, let's just call him the Southern Manic, asked me if I would mind giving him a hand because he's indisposed for the week. Now, I'm not gonna say I did, or did not, have anything to do with his inability to be here, but I'm getting away from my main point. Being another manic myself, I'll call myself the Northern Manic. I'll be reading this week's story. So if you like it, subscribe to the logo on your screen as well. Gaming, stories, SCPs, and more await you there. Anyway, let's get into this week's story. I know many of you are anxious to hear it. You've waited so long this week, so I'll try not to disappoint you. My Christian Grey wannabe stalker returns. I posted the story a few weeks ago on a different subreddit. A few people suggested that I post the story here in its entirety. I had pretty much forgotten about doing that, at least until last night, when I saw John for the first time in over a year. So here's the story, including last night's events. I'll spare you the lovey-dovey stuff, just understand that John and I met through a friend of a friend, and I was head over heels for this guy for a few weeks. He was so perfect. I had a daydream or two about wedding bells and babies. John was a software designer, and very well off financially. He was also a perfect gentleman. Every time we met, he would open doors for me, wait for me to sit first, offer his coat, all that Hallmark romance movie crap. Valentine's Day was our third date. We had already been flirting for a while, and one night it got pretty sexual. He started talking about what he was going to do on V-Day, not what he wanted to do, but what he was going to do. I stopped him and told him I wasn't ready for all that yet, and explained that it was really rude of him to just assume that kind of thing, especially since we've only had 2 very short dates prior to this one. He apologized and promised he understood. No sex on V-Day, and said he was okay with that. The events of Valentine's Day. He picks me up, and as we are sitting in the car, he tells me to close my eyes. I hear him get out of the car, get into the trunk and fumble around, and come back to tell me to open my eyes. He was holding 18 long-stem red roses and a 2-foot Chewbacca plush. I squealed. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. He told me to open Chewie's satchel, and inside was a box from K Jewelers. It was a lightsaber pendant. I thanked him, thinking it was a $30 necklace or something. K's didn't even register with me until much later. He took me to a fancy steakhouse, the kind with no prices on the menu. He orders wine, and we ate and had a pretty nice meal. I was ready to go, but he wanted to stay for that second glass of wine. He called the waiter over and ordered a bottle. Not a glass, a bottle. I gave him a funny look, and he just smiled and poured me and himself a glass. After I finished my glass, I was fuzzy-headed and done. I know my limits. Have another, he said, and poured. I politely declined, but he insisted, saying he already paid for the bottle. Don't let a $75 bottle go to waste. I politely declined, and he kept nagging at me. By now it caught the waiter's attention, and he came over to ask if everything was okay. John said it was fine and kind of shooed him away. The waiter looked at me and gave me the kind of concerned look and said, "We can send the bottle home with you guys if you like. We have bags that make it legal for transport. I'll go get one." And he took off before John could speak, and promptly came back. And as John was starting to protest, the waiter had already sealed the wine inside the bag, smiled at me, and wished us a good evening. Looking back, the waiter knew exactly what John was doing and tried to come to my rescue, but in the state I was in at the moment, I just shrugged it off. We drive around a bit, and John pulls into a fancy pants hotel, the kind with valet drivers. I asked what we were doing here, and John said he had a surprise for me. I instantly sobered up and started secretly texting my friend from my phone under my purse. As I'm doing this, I told John I wasn't going to a hotel room with him, that he promised I wouldn't have to, and that I wanted to go home. He argued a bit. I tried to get out of the car, but he pulled my door shut. He apologized and said it wasn't a sex surprise, but told me I was right. The hotel room was too far and he can understand where the idea came from, and promptly drove me home. I felt pretty bad through the rest of the night, wondering what his actual surprise was, how much trouble he went through, and how I could make it up to him for spoiling the evening. Our next date comes up, and we decide to stay in. Watched some movies, one thing led to another, and he ended up staying the night. I woke up randomly in the night several times to him standing over my side of the bed, just staring at me. I freak out every time and sit up and ask him what the fuck he was doing. Oh God, sorry, I sleepwalked. I should have told you. I'm sorry. It's the only answer I ever got. I'm pretty shaken up now and can't sleep, so I just lay there, on edge, awake. I've got some pretty bad vibes coming from him now and just want him to go the fuck home. The next morning I have to get up for work. I pretty much shove him out of my house because he doesn't seem to want to leave, and randomly kept talking about a room in my house that's empty, how it would make a great bedroom, how a roommate would help me financially. As I pushed him out, he was suggesting he move in, and I told him it was way too early to think about that. He just makes a nah, it'll happen kind of comment. I go to work and John blows my phone up all day. I miss you. How's your day? What are you wearing? Why won't you reply? Are you at work? I miss you so much. 38 texts similar to that on my phone. And he knows I can't mess with my phone at work, so I'm pretty annoyed now. I clock out and leave, and outside in the parking lot standing there waiting is John. I just miss you and wanted to kiss. One kiss. I tell him not to do this. This is my job and a secure facility. Then he hands me a bag with gifts, including the receipt to the necklace he got me the other day, which totaled $750 because he opted for the additional insurance. I freak out and tell him I can't accept it, or the necklace. It's too much. He refuses. We argue. I leave. He follows me home. We can't go to sleep angry. Let's work this out, he says. I tell him I need space and he needs to go home so I can think. He agrees. The next morning, there is a dozen roses on my doorstep. I go to work, get off work, and have 40-something texts from him ranging from, I'm sorry, I miss you, to angry messages telling me I'm ungrateful and just like his stupid bitch ex-wife. I go home and break up with him via text message. Yeah, I know, not classy, but at this point I didn't care. He called me, screamed at how I can't break up with him over a text and that I have to do it in person. 10 minutes later, he was outside refusing to leave until I came out. My roommate was standing just inside the door as protection. John was sobbing like snot down your face, crying, hand me a bunch of gifts, roses, video games, Star Wars stuff, Doctor Who stuff. It was really insane. Really insane. I refuse them all, and he refuses to leave until I accept them, so I do, but I convince him to take back this Star Wars lightsaber pendant, just to make myself feel a little less trashy. He leaves. I see him drive by my house a few times. Once I know I saw him at my work, but I tried to ignore it. I informed my job and family and friends what were going on. Months go by. I just started seeing a new guy. A new guy comes over and we're hanging out on my porch, drinking, laughing. John messages me. So you drank with this Neanderthal, but not me. Whore. I don't tell the new guy. I just ignore it. Keep having a fun time until he messages me again. You gonna fuck him tonight? He's just using you. I was freaking out now and didn't see a car anywhere outside, but I made the new guy come inside and told him what was going on. We just called the cops and I blocked John. More time flies by. Me and the new guy are living together now. Last night I saw John at the game store. I instantly turned to leave, but I know he saw me shortly after I get the message back from John. I miss you. When you realize that you're being stupid and chose a poor white trash idiot over me, I will take it back. It's been hard watching you dig your holes deeper and deeper, but I'll be here to wipe your tears away, my dear. I blocked him on Facebook and called the police again, informed my boyfriend, and we're soon planning to move. please, let's stop dating. Look, John and I only dated for about 2 months. I want to thank you guys again for giving me a chance, checking me out over there at Manic's channel. I'm sorry I got this story together later than I wanted to. Keep watching and pay attention, guys. It might just save your life. I'll see you next time.